Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So, yesterday, Ron DeSantis came out of nowhere and dropped out of the presidential race. Not only that, he endorsed Donald Trump over Nikki Haley, essentially making this a two-person race ahead of tomorrow's contest in the state of New Hampshire, saying that Donald Trump, even though he felt as if he underdelivered, he said that Haley is opposed to everything that Donald Trump was trying to deliver. And what this does is it will speed up the party unification process. Yes, we know that the Ron DeSantis campaign was nothing short of a disaster. He should not have ran for his own sake. He should have waited until 2028, where the field would have been a lot more open. But instead, he let the worst people in the Republican Party run his campaign into the ground, and as a result, he's dropped out finally. And that we know. It's funny, I put out a video yesterday saying he's going to drop out. And then 20 minutes after the video is dropped, he actually releases this statement and dropped out of the race. So that's that. Ron DeSantis, he's in the rearview mirror. It was fun. We had some fun at the expense, and we kind of had like a mini meme war going on, just like we had during the 2016 primaries. But now the attention shifts directly to none other than Nikki Haley. And it's kind of been shifting that way for a while because DeSantis, apparently after Iowa, it seemed like, okay, he got absolutely decimated. There's no path forward for him because he's in third place in a lot of these states. Now he's dropped out. Nikki Haley is banking her campaign on New Hampshire the same way that Ron DeSantis banked his campaign on the state of Iowa. She's been spending all of her money, time, energy, resources in the state. She is also getting the governor of the state on her side, the very liberal Republican governor and Chris Sununu. They are barnstorming the state together, and they're trying to get Democrats involved to vote for her. They're trying to get left-leaning independents involved to vote for her. Technically, you have to be at least an independent or a Republican to vote, but still, New Hampshire has a large portion of their electorate, which happens to be liberal independents, many of whom voted for Joe Biden, and many of whom are being instructed to turn out in the New Hampshire primary, which will be taking place tomorrow. We will be live streaming it as the results come in, the same way we did for Iowa. But still, it's like, is that really making a difference? Well, a lot of those people, they may get polled, but do they always end up turning out to vote as enthusiastically as those that are usually the hardcore Republican base? And you're not really going to have weather being as much of a factor. There's early voting. There's voting the entire day. It's not just like you have to show up at a certain time to caucus. And definitely the weather kind of made the whole Iowa caucus results lower turnout compared to original anticipations like a month before the contest, and arguably that hurt Trump. This overall, I'm expecting it to help him. And the fact that DeSantis dropped out, the fact that Vivek Ramaswamy dropped out as well, that is going to bode well for Donald Trump padding his margins, because you look at some of the polls back when everybody was in the race, and you see the fact that Trump, he wasn't doing poorly, but Haley was gaining on him. Haley was in the mid-30s, and even though she's gained because Chris Christie dropped out of the race and made the presidential race thin substantially in the process, well, Donald Trump is seeing a surge as we speak just because of the fact that DeSantis is out of the race. The last two polls have showed Donald Trump defeating Nikki Haley by 19 points and 27 points respectively. And while there are likely going to be some early votes for some of the candidates that did drop out, yeah, Christie established himself in the state before dropping out, and he didn't endorse. Is it possible that he ends up getting some votes anyways? It's possible. Not a lot of them for sure, but still, we talk about the numbers adding up to 100. They're not all going to come from Trump or Haley, although I do anticipate Trump to get probably close to 60%. And if it was just Trump versus Haley in the state, Donald Trump would be clearing 60% of the primary vote. But nevertheless, I do expect him to win big. I expect him to win by around 20 points or more. And what that's going to do is it's going to weaken Haley even further, because she already was weakened in Iowa. She underperformed the polls. She was supposed to get in second place. She got in third. New Hampshire, she's aiming for a strong second place, and that's moving the goalposts from the beginning of the month, where her goal was to go out there and win the state of New Hampshire ahead of South Carolina. Technically, Nevada's in between. I guess she and DeSantis at the time were both just ceding ground in Nevada to Donald Trump. Now it's just her. It seems as if she is ceding ground in Nevada to Trump. And South Carolina, if she even stays in past New Hampshire, which I'd like for her to get embarrassed so she does have to drop out and begrudgingly endorse Donald Trump, when it comes down to South Carolina, which is her home state, she was polling not even at 22% of the vote. And it's unlikely that she's going to be getting any votes from those that have dropped out. It's going to be like a 70-30 win for Trump if she does stay in until that point. It's going to be utterly embarrassing for Nikki Haley, and it will be an utter rejection of the failed Bush-era policies that she stands for, that she's pushing. Nikki Haley represents a return to the old Republican Party, a pre-Trump Republican Party. She's what the neocons dream of the future being, but as a result, the voter base realizes that she's not all that. First of all, she's not likable. Second of all, she's not electable. And the more she's been attacked, the worse she's doing in polls against Joe Biden. And third of all, on policy, she's a walking train wreck. She wants to dox the entire country. She definitely would be somebody who would be provoking foreign conflicts overseas, and it would not really end well. And on top of that, she's also pro-open borders. She wants to increase all levels of immigration, for one, and for two, she's going out there saying, we can't call these people criminals, we have to do something. And that kind of signals that even if she's not outwardly calling for amnesty, she would probably, if she was ever to get in the White House, try to give amnesty. And is that going to happen? No, I think she's going to be resoundingly rejected in New Hampshire. If she stays in past New Hampshire, she's just going to be embarrassed in South Carolina. And past that point, there really is nothing to staying in the race past that point. There's really not. She can try, she can get embarrassed, but either way, Donald Trump is going to be putting on these masterclass performances the same way he was putting them on back in the 2020 primary, where he was virtually running unopposed and he was going out there and he was getting like close to 100% of the Republican primary vote in every single state. And I think he's probably going to shatter the record for overall primary support in terms of the raw vote totals for any candidate in a primary on the Republican side this time around. I fully expect him to. And as a result, he's going to go out there and win. So in terms of my final prediction for New Hampshire, this is going to be it. And Donald Trump is going to win. I wouldn't be surprised if he clears 60, but just for the sake of practicality, understanding that, yeah, some people probably have already voted for the dropout candidates like DeSantis, like Christie, like Vivek. You're going to see them clock in around 4.4% of the vote. Ryan Binkley, for some reason, is still in the race. I think he gets 0.6%. And I think you will see Nikki Haley finish in a distant second. I think she will get in the mid to high 30s. And I think Donald Trump is going to be close to 60%, but just under. And I feel like if, DeSantis dropped out a week earlier, or if there was no early voting, you would see Donald Trump probably clear 60%. And I think when it comes down to Nevada, when it comes down to South Carolina, that's where he's going to be getting even bigger numbers. And it's going to speed up the party unification process behind none other than Donald Trump, which will put him in a very good position to just start campaigning for the general election, because that's what he gets to do. He already gets the luxury of campaigning for the general election against Joe Biden when he's got like 9 to 10 months before the general, which is a very good thing. Whereas if you have this long drawn out primary where you don't exactly have a primary winner until June or something like that, that would be a massive problem. So the party's unifying behind Donald Trump. You love to see it. DeSantis did a good political move for the first time in a while by dropping out, by endorsing him. And I'm sure you will see Haley be the next domino to fall. The real question is, does she drop out after New Hampshire or after South Carolina? And when it comes down to it, I think that if Donald Trump puts on just a masterclass performance and he outperforms the polls and he does even better than people think, and Haley just completely collapses and she doesn't exactly get all of these liberal independents out to vote for her the way that she's banking on, well, at that point, she might drop out. So if you're in New Hampshire, don't take it for granted. Get out to vote. We need everybody on board so we can make sure that this party unification process gets sped up and we can absolutely bury the rhino known as Nikki Nimrata Haley. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.